So this is what myself and Skepta were renting out for a while. It's Battery. We was working on an album together, and then once that finished, Skepta phoned me up and was like, "I'd love to work with you full time." When I did the EP with Skepta, there was no stress on that at all, and we finished it and we was like, wait, it's out. It feels weird being out because the process was just so seamless. So most of the time, I usually do a board mix, which is on the SSL 4000, and it's plugins wise, it's all really just to clean things up and do a little notches here and there. And most of it, to be honest, I always start on drums and then go down to bass and then the music and then effects after that, and then do vocals after. Most vocal mixes I start doing are basically just cleaning it up and making it sound as if I recorded it personally. And then from there, I'll start the whole thing. I'll start all the vocal mixing again and do it from scratch. Because I know, if I want to have the vocals sound like I recorded it on a U67 or something, then I'll start it with that in mind, and then I'll start mixing it as if I've recorded it on that on a specific chain. I've gone through a ton of different interfaces and processes. I'm always trying to hunt for the best sound, pre's, EQs, compressors. And just using that alone was just like, wow. Even the simple things like, on the interface you can actually switch into mono and then you can flip the polarity, which is easy to see if things are heavily out of phase, or if something's in mono that comes up as a stereo track in Pro Tools. It's easy just to go boom, boom, 2 clicks, like that. Okay, checked, next, solo that, check that, put it in mono, and it's just a really quick way of just doing it. Second nature, just like boom, boom, and then, some kit over here on the desk, but it's got to be like, you don't even have to think about it, you just do it. And that way you can push more on the creative thinking rather than on the technical side of it. Because technical side of it is obviously a big part of it, but you don't want to make it sound too technical. I'd rather make it sound more creative rather than technical. Because anyone can do technical, it's something you learn. With something creative, it's something that you sort of already have to have within you. The first project I believe I used it on was the SARS and Ubunjaya Sweetness EP, which was very 80s sounding, and so I wanted to go with something, and Ubunjaya's got a deep, full voice, and I wanted something that can capture the whole, spectrum of his voice without, sacrificing any ends. So that was the first project I used it on, which was great because it made his voice sound like 3D. It's really, really interesting. And the low end on the pre's on, with how it translates on the low end of the pre's is so lovely. It's like silk, but still gives you a huge warmth. I started out when I was 14 or 15, 14 I think. Used to come home from school. My mum had this old PC with I think I had a dodgy Fruity Loops or something on there. And I just went home and just cracked on with music and tried to make the best music I could possibly make. And it was a nice escape from like day to day, from school. School was very stressful for children, was very stressful for me. And it's just a great escape. So I went from making, silly beats and everything and all that stuff, when I got home from school, instead of watching Simpsons or anything. And just progressed really. It was something that sort of came without realising it was there. Tried every genre I could possibly think of. I never thought I'd actually be doing this as a job, like get paid for doing music. It's mad. And then just met a few people. Luckily became friends with them, and it was all super natural. And then started getting into recording. Quite liked recording, and I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. That's easy. And it definitely wasn't. When you start out, you think but you don't. And then just learnt the craft, started doing a lot of bands, and learnt from there really. This young 17-year-old in the studio with a full band, and trying to get a great sound out of it is pretty stressful, but it's all part of the learning curve, I suppose. When some guys, look for a product that specifically targets their audience, it's sort of a bit I'm not really into that. I think it's nice just to have something that could be solid the whole way round, because, you know, one day you could be recording a string section, the next day you could be recording, you know, a rap vocal or a, you know, soprano thing, or, you know what I mean? It's always, you know, diverse. So I think having something so solid and compact and take it with you and it sounds amazing every time is like priceless. You know, you can't, you know,